Hello, are you like me, a frustrated gardener? Frustrated because you can't get in your garden because of the weather, and you certainly can't grow anything because of the weather. Too cold, too wet, too windy, too early in the year. But you're frustrated. You want to do some gardening. I want to do some gardening. We all want to do some gardening. Here's a way. Here's a way you might be able to do some gardening. I'm going to cut you to a short clip of video that I posted some days ago, where I'd brought my seed potatoes out of the refrigerator to show you that I'd managed to stop them chitting up by keeping them in a cold environment. Then I showed you these guys. These guys weren't in the fridge. No, these guys were on the veg rack. And as you can see, they want to grow. So they've caught me by surprise, really. I only just found them there, and I need to do something with them. Now, when I cut you to that short clip of video, you'll see that clearly I don't know what to do. If I've got to hold these back another month or two, who knows how long those chits are going to be. They're probably just going to get damaged and broken off. Watch that video, then come back to me. Compare and contrast these potatoes stored in a fridge to these potatoes on my veg rack in the garage. Hey, how about that? This guy wants to grow. He wants to grow. But we're still in our middle winter month here at Home Grown Veg. I can't plant these guys, not yet anyway. But this fella, he wants to grow. But they've chitted up far too soon. Wow, look at that. I mean, it's even throwing roots down, look. You see the roots? It's throwing roots down. I can't plant them. Where am I going to plant them? Yeah, I could put them in buckets, but there's no way I'm keeping buckets indoors. I just wouldn't get away with it, so they'd have to go outdoors. And the greenhouse is cold. The weather's cold. So these guys, I'm not too sure what'll happen to them. I'm not too sure what'll happen to these potatoes in front. The ones that are already chitted up. Okay, so as you could see, I was a bit uncertain about what to do. But I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to give these guys a fast start. I'm going to start growing them indoors. Have you seen any of my fast start videos? If you want to see potatoes given a fast start, just search on grow potatoes fast start. You'll find a number of videos. I've done this for a number of years. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut you to some more video that I shot a number of years ago. You get the whole life story of these fast start potatoes. You'll see me start them off indoors in yogurt pots. I think I actually started them in the greenhouse, then brought them indoors. You'll see them planted up as a small potato plant, because they do start growing, and we convert these potatoes into potato plants. And then I'll show you how I move those potato plants up into buckets. By now, of course, we've moved into the spring of the year. Those buckets go outside, and later on in that year, probably mid to late summer, we harvest the potatoes. I'll show you all that in this one video. Now, I will say at this point, this isn't a video for people with a short attention span. It isn't. I'm sure it lasts about half an hour, but you will see everything that you need to see in terms of doing this. Hey, you should give it a go. It's worked for me for a number of years. Just search on grow potatoes fast start and you'll see the results. Okay, watch that bit of video, come back, and then I'll say bye bye. It's the beginning of February at Home Grown Veg, and we're still in the winter months. But I'm ready to do some gardening here. And the reason we're not doing any gardening is it's too cold, it's too wet, it's too windy, there's too much snow, there's too much frost, there's not enough daylight. Hey, take your pick. That's why we're not gardening. But how would you like to kickstart your gardening year right now? How'd you like to do that? Irrespective of all those weather conditions, how would you like to kickstart your gardening year right now? Well, here's a way you can do it. I've been doing it for years. There are videos on the channel that show me doing it. And if you want to check them out, just search on fast start potatoes. Okay, fast start potatoes. Because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be giving these seed potatoes a fast start. Now, if you're a follower of my channel, you'll know that I like to garden in these 10-inch buckets because I'm strapped for space. But I've got lots of potatoes that I want to fast start. But if I plant one potato in one 10-inch bucket and want to take it indoors, I'm not going to get away with it if there's 20 of these guys. The house isn't that big enough. So we've got to go small scale to start with so that we can actually keep the potato and grow it into a potato plant indoors. And then at a later date we'll pop them in these 10-inch buckets. Let me put this to one side. You've seen these before. Yogurt pots. I think they're about 5-inch deep. Holes drilled in the bottom. This is what we're going to start our potatoes off in. Okay, now I'll get away with this. Check this out. I'll get away with this indoors. Want a potato in every one of those. Yeah, I can get away with that. I mean, that's half a dozen of these yogurt pots. Imagine half a dozen of those 10-inch water buckets or more. I wouldn't get away with it. It's not going to happen. So these are ideal. Now then, I'm going to plant one of these potatoes on camera. Then I'm going to cut you to a video that I made some time ago that will better explain why we're doing this. Okay. The potatoes I'm working with today are Kestrel, and these are Vivaldi. Okay, Kestrel, Vivaldi, and these are all early type potato. And this is how easy it is. Just let me put these gloves on. Now, if you're going to be growing potatoes in an allotment, or if you've got a big area of ground and these potatoes are grown in the ground, there's no need to do this. In fact, there's no need to do this if you're growing in buckets or pots. I like to do it because it gives me a fast start. Okay, so I simply put a couple of inches of soil in the bottom of there. We'll take a potato, as you can see, it's chitted up. We'll just sit it in there and we'll hold it with our finger, and then that's it. We've planted a potato. Now then, there is definitely no need to water this potato. It's a potato, look, You can pour as much water on that as you like, it's not going to take it up. It's got no roots, it's hardly got shoots, so there's no need to water it at this stage, only when you've got some top growth, or if you feel as though this soil has dried out, give it a small drink, but don't give it a lot. Right, I'll cut you to that video. When you come back, these guys will all be in these yogurt pots. See you when you get back. They've been on my windowsill now for about a month. There are a couple of Kojaks. There's nothing on them, is there? They're bald. There's no chits. They've turned a little green, but there's no signs of growth, is there? After 1 month standing on a windowsill. Is that what you're doing with your sweet potatoes? You're standing them on a windowsill, waiting for them to chit. Let me show you this. That was one of those potatoes. A month ago, that looked like that. A month ago. Now I've already done a video showing you this. The reason I'm doing this one today is because we've got to move on to the next step. We've got to plant these guys. And I know I've had quite a few comments about, hey, how are we going to do this? You know, you've got a small potato plant there, how are you going to plant that on? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to show you that today. Okay, but let's just check this root system out on this guy before we do that. How's that? That's what we call a potato plant. That's what we call a potato. Look at the difference. Which would you rather be planting, that or that? I think I know the answer. Okay, so we'll pop that back in there. But to help us sow this and to prevent damage to this growth, because now we've got it, we don't really want to lose it, we don't want to break it off if we can help it. I'm going to make something. I'm going to make something from a pop bottle, from a lemonade bottle, that'll help us protect this top growth when we plant this in a 10-inch water bucket. Let me just take all this off the table and show you what we're going to do. Okay. This is our pop bottle. As you can see, I've taken the label off. What we're going to do, we're going to cut the bottom off this. Now I'll warn you now, we're using a sharp blade and we're using scissors. These bottles aren't designed to be cut, so be very, very careful if you do it. Okay. What I'm hoping to do, there are always lines around these bottles. I hope you can see them. There's usually one near the bottom, sometimes one near the top. I'm going to try and follow this line round. Okay, now you possibly can't see it on video, but I certainly can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a small incision with this blade, then hopefully with the scissors I'm going to cut the bottom off. Okay, so as I've said, these guys aren't meant. Now, if you were confident, you could probably take that the whole way around, but I'm not that confident with the blade. I've cut myself once or twice over the years, and I'm hopefully not going to do it while I'm making this video. So as I've said, I can see that line, possibly you can't. With a bit of luck, we'll get round the other side, we'll hit that cut. We'll soon find out, won't we? Spot on, man. Absolutely spot on, apart from that little sliver. How's that? That's good enough, isn't it? Okay, let's go and plant that potato. Okay, I think we've got everything we need here. So this is overwintered with chop and drop on it. But I need to spark it up. If I'm going to use it again this year, I need to spark it up. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to empty this out of this pot. I've already had it out of the pot just to break it up. When it first comes out, it comes out as a soil ball. But I needed to break it up because I knew I was going to be planting this. So this has already been out once this morning, but I'm going to pour it out again now. But it's just to show you that it's a pot full of soil from last year. Okay, let me just move this out of the barrel. Let me show you what this pop bottle's about. Okay, now you may not see this actually happen when I use the bucket, the 10-inch bucket, because this will be sitting near the bottom of that bucket, and I'm not too sure how the camera catches that. But what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 inches of soil in the bottom of the bucket. We're going to sit this on it, take it out of this yogurt carton obviously, but we're going to sit it on it, and we're going to fill that bucket. Now these are in imminent danger of getting snapped right off, aren't they? They are. If I pile soil on top of those, they're going to break off. Hey, check this out. Home Grown Veg. This is where you saw it first. Check this out. How good is that? Perfect fit. Am I right or am I wrong? Perfect fit. So what we're going to do is, imagine that sitting in the bottom of the bucket now. It's out of its yogurt carton, sitting in the bottom of the bucket. We pop this over it, fill the bucket with soil, then we'll jiggle this out, let the soil fall in around that potato. Job done. Hey, hey, come on. Right, let's sort this soil out. Okay, so as I've said, I've already had this out. It was a solid mass when it came out, but I've had to break it up because I knew it was going to have a potato planted in it. Just as we thought, it is shot through with worms. There's plenty of worms in there. You may not be able to see them, but there is. Oh, and there's about half a container of this Gromo, whatever that equates to, I don't know. I think I've said this before, haven't I? There are only 3 measurements at Home Grown Veg. There's not enough, more than enough, and just enough. That's just enough. Okay, well, so we'll mix it up. It is quite wet, this actually, because it has been outdoors all winter, and although I've tried to dry it out as best I can by laying it out on a tarp and letting the wind blow across it, it is quite wet. Right, let's move this back again. Okay. Right, we'll just pop 2 inches into the bottom of that. That looks like 2 inches to me. Okay. Right, take our gloves off for this. This could be delicate. We'll pop that there so we can reach it. We'll get this out. Hey, this is the bit I like. Just sling this down there. Get out of it! I'll pick it up later, don't worry. There. How good is that? Are you getting that? Can you see that sitting in that pot? I honestly don't know what you're getting, but that's sitting in that pot. Right. Pop bottle protector going on. Ha ha ha! Come on, can you see that? Can you see that? I've no idea.
I'm getting overexcited. Right, so let me just push that about a bit. Hold it steady. None of that soil touched any of those leaves. How good is that? Right, shake it in. Now then, now then, all this of course falls down if that potato plant comes out with this pop bottle. Nice and gently, does it? How's that? How's that? Are you impressed? I've even impressed myself. I've even impressed myself. Right, so that's a potato planted. I can't remember what variety it is. I'll have to go and check and then put a ticket in. It's still February, it's March in a couple of weeks, so we're still in winter. This guy's going to stand in my garage now for as long as it takes for this potato to break that surface. And once it breaks the surface, then obviously it'll need some light, and I'm hoping to stand these guys in a greenhouse until such times as they're ready to harvest, or they need to be moved out so we can get some tomatoes in, whatever comes first. Well, that didn't take long. It must have taken me all of 2 or 3 minutes to plant these 10 potatoes. 5 Kestrel, 5 Vivaldi. I've even had time to make myself a brew. How good is that? And now we can take this indoors. It's tidy, isn't it? I've got a lot more to do, but not on this video.
give these guys a wash. Get a closer look at them. Oh yeah, there's no mistake in these. These are definitely kestrel. So it's mystery solved. What we're going to do now is weigh them and see if we can beat that £1.5 that I got with those other potatoes, which we're now saying were Vivaldi. I think they're Vivaldi. Right, hey, look at that. Can't mistake those potatoes, can you? You just can't. Okay. Let's clean this seat out. I'll put the scales in the sink and then we'll weigh them. Right. Just move that. Let's see if we can beat that £1.5. It's going to be a draw. It's a draw. Right, we've got £1.5 of Vivaldi a few days ago. Now we've got £1.5 of kestrel. These are definitely kestrel. Hey, we're happy with that. Well, if nothing else, you've proved you've got perseverance if you've got this far. You've watched the video from start to finish. You've seen what's possible. You might want to give it a go. Hey, what have you got to lose? 2 or 3 potatoes, that's all. You've got nothing to lose. And you're not going to get out into the garden. From this point in time, you're not going to get out into your garden for maybe a month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. Who knows what the weather's going to throw at us. In that space of time, these guys could be growing, couldn't they? And when the weather picks up, they go outdoors. Anyway, your choice, please yourself. You may want to do it, you may not. If you've done this before actually, if you've tried fast start potatoes before, give us a comment in the text below. You might even want to give us a thumbs up. And pretty close to that thumbs up button, if you do choose to do that, there's another button, another icon. It's a share icon. If you're on social media, which I'm not, other than this YouTube channel, if you're on social media, you may want to share these via that share icon. You must have friends that garden. You must know someone that gardens has maybe not seen this before. Yeah, share it with them. Share the love. Share the love of gardening. Happy New Year. This is Home Grown Veg with my last mince pie, signing off.